All right. Hey, everybody. It was a little quiet yesterday, but today's focus is going to be on eyeballs because that seemingly was the first thing I drew, and it's a fun topic to talk about. So I've pulled up off screen some different eyes that I'm willing to try out. So let's just see how it goes. It's just going to be eyes all over this page when I'm done. So I'm just going to draw a bunch and see how I do. Start with my standard. I'm not going to give it a cat eye like last time. Just going to do a quick eye. Sure, it's going to be a little zoomed out, but see if I could zoom in a little bit later. So, eyes are very interesting to not only draw but talk about because, as they say, eyes are the windows to the soul. Try to center this a bit. See what I can do with that. So, yeah. Eyes are fun to draw. They're like the first thing you look at when you notice anybody, whether good, bad, or ugly. And I don't know, it's just always something I was interested in drawing in. There's always so much uniqueness to the eye. Uniqueness to the eye. I don't know, it's just so many different things you could say about an eye in terms of like an eye can look soft. An eye could look harsh or like go with somebody's motif. You could roll your eyes. Do a bunch of different symbols for emotion with your eyes. I mean, there's the whole concept of like the evil eye and all that kind of thing. How eyes play such an important role in society and in culture and history. It's just fun to kind of delve in. Well, let's see what I can do here. I think I did the standard like eye before. Let's see if I can get a little bit more in depth. I was kind of going freehand. And by freehand, I mean I wasn't looking at anything, which I am known, or at least just view myself as like a copycat drawer. So if I can look at something, I'm pretty sure that I can replicate it. Now, I'm not going to do any like hyper realism or anything because I don't know all the ins and outs of the foundations for that, but I'm sure in time I could potentially build up to that. But I'm going to stick for my normals for now. I don't know, there's always just so many different things you could do with the eye. Like, you have your standard pupil, right? Then you can have like the fun like anime eyes. You can, especially with the eyebrow, if you can make somebody super mad, super inquisitive. It's just like, how do you not enjoy a good eye? Plus, there's too many puns that I'm just not going to get into right now. Maybe when I get a little bit more comfortable. I don't know, there's just so many like little flecks and things that you can do. You zoom into an eye, you can see that reflective surface. In terms of my eyes, like they definitely have a little bit more Sharingan going on. Where I have I think I've only awakened 2 little pieces here from my eye. But things like that, you have those like arrays coming from the eye very lightly, depending on how zoomed in you are. It's really fun to kind of delve in there. Give somebody like a tired eye. Oh, it's just super, super fun. Really wish I had to buy some more pencils because I'm working with a 2B. If anybody knows, I'm working with these kinds of pencils, the drawing pencils. Typically, I'd be working with your HB, but kind of just a little too heavy-handed for my liking. Like I'm trying my best to kind of hold back. This is, I could already tell just from looking at an eye. It's so much better. The previous drawing is on the back, but in order to see it, you gotta view my first video. Well, my first comeback video, I should say. So I don't know, just really wanted to have fun, just kind of do what I wanted to do, and I said, hey, you know, I haven't drawn in so long. It was fun to do. You know, took all the way to like Visual Arts 3 in high school. I said, why not? Why not just like play with it a bit? See what else I can draw. See what else I can do. I mean, they do say practice makes perfect, right? So let's see if I could even come close. So I'm cool with that. For now. I'll dabble into color pencils maybe later on. Maybe I'll come back to these videos and see how I can kind of get better at all aspects of it. But I'd say that's pretty good for now. I'm gonna move on. Try to do. Let's see if we can get maybe like an animal in here. Do some like Naruto style shit where they pulled all the sage mode. The 6 paths is basically what like a goat eye and a cat eye together, making that little cross in the middle. So let's see what else I got. Maybe like an octopus eye. Or like a cephalopod. Cephalopod eyes are pretty interesting. Let's go with that. Might as well. Did my thesis on cephalopods, oddly enough. So why not? Let's go for it. See if I can make the closest thing to like a perfect circle. And their eyes sit up on top. Their head, basically their whole body is like a set of eyes. All have different brains stemming off their chromatophores or whatever they call them. That camouflage, they still don't know how they do that. It's so responsive, even after death. They still have that reflective glow, if you didn't know. Let's see. It's almost like trying to draw like a Kermit eye. Like up on top of the head, but seems to have like rings, almost like a ring around it. Basically like an encompassing piece that leads in. So this would be like the surrounding part going into the head. Yeah, I'm already heavy-handed. It's all right. Let's see. So it looks something like this. And I mean, octopi, squids, all that kind of like cuttlefish, all that kind of fall into that cephalopod category. And they could fit into like any place, any space. You could just scoosh their brain and everything else. Almost that weird iridescent look from the picture that I'm looking at. I'm sure you could find something similar online. But this dark banding across the eye. I'm a lefty, so of course I'm going to draw over all my pictures. So lefties do. They fuck up their own shit. So my hand's going to be covered in pencil shavings, but that's okay. So something like that would be more of a, let's see, a cephalopod. Yeah, cephalopod eye. Obviously, everybody knows the human eye. See if I get into more fantastic eyes later on. Maybe I can experiment, make my own. See what would work. Survival style. See what we could evolve into. That would be more what we could evolve into. Probably a creature with a really bad posture and a bad neck staring down at all our phones. Let's see, what else do I got up here? Do you like the standard house cat, or I think they got a cheetah up here. So let's see. Shift over a bit. This isn't your standard cat eye. It's always like beautiful striations. Let's see. Kind of peeks off into this, where the tear duct goes into. See if I can get something close. Yeah, I apologize. This is going to be super heavy-handed. But I just want to see if I can bang out a couple eyes while I'm having some fun. I really do need to keep this focus on. So, looks like there's like a, what do they call that? Almost like a nictating membrane, where it kind of like your main eye cuts off here, but then there's other bands that kind of lead into this very obvious tear duct. And I'm sure they have a pronounced tear duct because we're talking about, I believe this is a cheetah eye. So if you're talking about cheetahs, you're probably going to be talking about a savanna cat. Going to need that while running those speeds. I'm sure you're going to have a lot more moisture come back in, right? So looks like it's got some decent shading. I just find it so weird that like they have this eye shape that's so bizarre to me. Like to have this kind of eye shape and yet see better than any human could ever see. Not only that, running at those top speeds. Like we get windburn from like staying out in the sun too long, going like 5 miles an hour down a country highway. And yet they're running at these top speeds, not for that long, but still pretty impressive. It's giving me Sauron vibes. This needs a couple tired eye lines. Need some like cracked, veiny eyes. Like when you stay up too long trying to make videos to create some content for your channel. So I'm gonna play with some shadow here. It looks like there's darker, like about, it comes out like yay far. So I'm gonna do a little rubbing technique that I remember. See if I can make it look a little bit better. It's probably not gonna show up on the video too well because I am recording this from my Samsung phone. Yes, Samsung is better than Apple. Come at me. So, like a little bit on this side. Crazy reflections. coming through, but I'm not going to do all that in this. Not going to do all that in this video. But definitely like some crazy ass reflections. But I guess in order to make this more of a cat eye, I'm going to have to pronounce the I. So there's definitely some striation patterning around the eye. So now it's cool to do some hard process. Yeah, because a cat eye, when you think of a cat eye, obviously, it's all about that sharpness. But accuracy. Like everything was honed. Losing some of my striations here, but it's alright. That's better. Yeah, so we got a cheetah. All right. Cheetah eye. You have your my other favorite eye in the animal kingdom is the goat eye. They fucking eat anything. Absolutely anything. So I'm actually going to create a little bit of a brow here first. But the goat eye, I forget the reasoning behind why it's broader. I think it's to scan more as like a prey animal. It's like broader, and the positioning on its head is a little bit more spaced out. Forget the actual terminology. I'm sure somebody will remind me in the comments what that is, if anybody's actually watching me yet. But they will. They will show. It's more of like, it's closer to more of like the cephalopod, like that curvature that we had before. But as far as with the goat eye, make sure I'm lined up. Let's see. Goat eye has more of like that brick and mortar, almost straight block. Like dead middle, the eye. Something along the lines of, it's a little bit more amorphous than I thought it was, but kind of something like that. It really does remind me of Kermit the Frog eyes, like straight up goat eyes. Think about that next time. I'd have to compare that to a frog eye. Let me see if that's remotely close to a frog eye. Very curious, actually. Now see, why does Kermit the Frog have fucking goat eyes? Wait. Yeah, so, I mean, so I'm gonna put Kermit right next to this goat, because there's no way. Like, the positioning of the head is there, right? Like, you have Kermit the Frog here, and you can put the eyes on top of the head like usual, but when it comes to his eyes, it's some mix. It's not even close. It's like a weird mix of a Pokeball and two lines. Like, you can't tell me that Kermit the Frog's eyes don't resemble more of a goat than a frog. I know they're just trying to create different characters and whatnot, but like, come on. It's obviously closer to a goat. I'm absolutely gonna need to see. Well, now I'm just gonna have some fun drawing Kermit the Frog real quick, because it's fun. I always imitate him. Hello there. Yeah, it's just, there's no way that Kermit T. Frog doesn't have a goat eye. Like, now I have to draw a full comparison. Now we're going to have to draw a frog eye real quick. Oh, I put that too close. Shit. My eraser sucks. Ugh. I got a true frog eye up here. Like it's not even close. Like there's so many different frog eyes in the frog kingdom, and none of them look like that. You know, you have your tree frog eye, just a really. Now I'm kind of on a tirade, but you know what? This needs to be said because this conspiracy needs to be blown out of the water. So your standard tree frog, more like cat eye, okay? That's more of what you're looking at. And then your other more like a toad. I believe a toad would be more of what we'd be looking at. Yeah, so the toad eye is more, obviously more like indented into the head, but seriously, this is kind of an irritating thing to me. Like the toad eye, probably because it's more like it could be on different sides of the spectrum in terms of it could be more aquatic versus, I guess they could both be, but the shaping of the eye, regardless, my point being that the toad eye, although it has this weird membrane around it, is more oval-esque, right? You have your toad eye there. So you have a toad eye, your frog eye, your goat eye, and you're telling me, what the hell is Kermit? There's no in between. You have a goat eye, which has, I guess, the semblance of the line, and then you have a frog eye, which looks more like, at least the Amazon frog eye looks more like a cat, and your toad eye doesn't even come close. So I understand it's a Muppet, guys. I do. I do understand that this is a Muppet, but come on, at least come closer to where we need to be. In terms of give me some kind of relevance, right? I'm putting way too many frills, but I don't care. Anyway, I got off topic. Anyway, eyes are cool. You should like eyes, and if you have eyes, you should like and comment on this video because why not?